Hello everyone, my name is Ark and welcome back to another SH Monster Arts review. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at the 1989 Godzilla exclusive edition that had originally come out in San Diego Comic-Con. This guy is part of the 70th anniversary editions of Godzilla. Well, not necessarily a 70th anniversary edition, but it was part of the year. But there's something interesting about this figure. This one I just recently got through Pre-Am Bandai. As you guys know, you've probably seen all of my other videos of the exclusives from last week, depending on when I upload this. It was last week, at least, from when I'm recording this. This is a very interesting one, because it's double taped. Meaning that someone already went through it, probably inspected it just in case there were any issues, put it right back, and called it a day. The shipper was also intact, somehow. So I'm guessing that they had this in stock, and they were like, oh shit, we need something. Grabbed it, checked it inside, see if it was still there, and retaped it. I don't have any tape near me right now, so I was not the one who did it. I would not do that whatsoever, especially since you can see that the box has not been tampered with. I would not be gentle with this whatsoever. So this was retaped. I'm actually going to do this live, and I normally don't do that. You guys know that. So it's definitely a weird thing, for sure. Have heard of companies retaping their items just to secure an actual good package. So I'm using my good old trusty, yeah, you can see it's been open before. It has the crease on the top or on the box of someone shoving their thumb in like I normally do, but I have not done so. Well, the figure's in there. That's what matters. But it's definitely weird. It's a weird thing. I never thought I would get a figure like this. So here we have the 1989 Godzilla exclusive edition with the dorsal fins. We're already here. Might as well get them out of the box if I can. Oh, nice and easy. Awesome. Again, I know I've heard of companies just kind of checking if the figure is there, and if it's there, nothing seems to be missing. This figure has no accessories whatsoever, so there should be nothing missing realistically. And then just kind of closing the bag and being done with it. So, hey, now we're here. We're here to the overview section. Here we have Godzilla 1989. Godzilla vs. Biollante. I think. I'm not too familiar with the old Godzillas. I'm so sorry. I'm a fake fan. I know. I can already feel the comments coming in, calling me a fake fan, a fake believer of our Godzilla. I like it. He looks very nice. Very, very good. Now, let's look at those eyes. Let's look at those pearly whites as well. Eyes look pretty good. They're looking straight dead on. Well, the left side is. The right side, not so much. You can kind of see it. It's looking straight, but not straight, dead straight. So, there's that. Pearly whites look great. Actually, every single teeth, all the teeth are painted individually, which is absolutely insane. They have not really done that for recent releases, so very interesting that they did that. They missed a little spot behind one of the teeth in the inside of the mouth. You can't really see it, but it's next to the tongue. So that is interesting. Very interesting that they actually painted all the teeth. Very, very nice. So the real thing about this guy, this is my first Biollante Godzilla, of course. He has the painted dorsal plates. As you can see right here in the video, he has the nice pearly white color from the looks of it. Very translucent, like, although they're not translucent, you can't see my finger through it. So they look really nice. I like how they painted them. And from what I've seen in terms of pictures, it looks pretty accurate. Now, for those of you that are not as familiar with Godzilla, if you're just looking at this video just because you're interested in perhaps getting it, yes, the whole dorsal fins don't light up until the very back of the tail. That's what they used to do with a lot of the Godzilla suits back then. They just kind of had it enough for this one, so that's something. Honestly, not a terrible decision. And that is why he doesn't really have anything else on there. But it does look really nice. I really like the pearlescent look that he has on the skin. Very well done. I think every other dorsal plate is painted nicely. It's much whiter over here at the very top of the head compared to the actual rest of the dorsal fins, but it does match the look of the rest of the tail, which is fine. Awesome. So this guy already looks good. He has a nice, decent wash throughout the body, which I really like. The nails are painted really well, and also the feet are painted really well. Well, in terms of the nails. So yeah, overall, this guy, in terms of aesthetic, he looks quite good. Articulation. I don't know anything about this figure. I've never seen any reviews, so this is my first time handling it. In terms of the tail, you can kind of see some of the actual rings of the tail just kind of move around a lot. So that could happen where you could just pop out the very tip of it. Realistically, all of these... Oh, this is not segmented. So they are segmented, but they're not like actually jointed. So I'm just going to move down a little bit here so you guys can actually see better. So in terms of the curling action for the tail, very well done. Pretty good job over here. I'm pushing it to not its limit, but a lot. So that's going that side, that way, down. Not so much going down. And then up. Pretty well going up. I know this guy had really good tail movements in the movie, at least from what I remember of just the snippets I've seen online. For the head, he can look down about this far, which... Is he the Godzilla that can look down the furthest? Interesting. With the torso, that could happen. I guess that could happen. Very well, okay, very good. I did not know that was going to happen. So, beware. Do not push down your Godzillas. Okay, so it just pops back in quite easily. So, with the torso, don't push it too much. It's about that far in terms of the crunch. Going upward, this guy kind of just falls apart. Jesus. So going upward, not too much because he does have the actual sculpted portions of the dorsal fins. Mouth opens a lot, very well. So he does have, I think, an articulated tongue. Let me get my little scalpel so we can move that sucker. Oh no! Oh no! Wait! I pulled out the tongue. That is not what I wanted. Oh god. Okay, give me a second. Okay, he's back to having an actual tongue. Okay, so that is something to be careful with. Do not move the tongue too much. It is on a ball joint right here on the actual tongue. Like the very tip of it. It's like inside of the jaw, of course. So just be careful with it. So looking side to side, actually pretty good. A lot of Godzilla figures can't really look to the sides, which is definitely a bummer. But this guy, while popping the head off as well, he can look to the sides pretty decent. Now, arms. I'm already extending this video a long time. But arms, he can move them around. He has ball joints inside of there. He can rotate them 360 degrees, which is great. He can extend his arm kind of like straight, which is really good. He has a bicep swivel. From the looks of it, a double jointed elbow, I think, or just ball jointed elbow, and a ball joint for the wrist, which is really nice. Torso, we already kind of saw that, but that's another thing. That fell to the ground. Oh god. Okay, I don't know if anyone had this many issues with their Godzilla just popping off. Hopefully not. Hopefully mine is just kind of like the defective version, which kind of sucks. Because I love Godzilla, I love my Godzilla figures, but I hate it when they're defective. Can't really move to the sides much. You can wiggle it a little bit. Splits. Oh my god, this guy splits pretty well. Goodness, holy. Those are pretty good splits. Kicking forward, pretty good too. Kicking backwards, very well. Honestly, they could have just kind of gone without this floating piece. I kind of hate it. And they just could have sculpted it around. I think it would have been a little bit nicer. Especially because this is supposed to go down here. And then, yeah. I don't know. They could have done it a lot better. But it's alright. Just kind of making it. There you go. Perfect. Jesus Christ. What is wrong with this figure? Okay. Sort of like the ball jointed knee. Going forward this much. Going backwards that much, of course. Okay, you didn't see it. Forward, backwards. And the toe, the foot, a little bit on there. So, yeah, this guy falls apart quite easily. Oh my god. I've never had a Godzilla that actually fell apart this much, besides my evolved Godzilla with his head just popping off quite often. But yeah, overall, going into my final thoughts, this guy is not bad whatsoever. I really like the way that he looks. Do I think he was worth it for an exclusive? Perhaps. Now, there is the whole deal with, like, he's a quote-unquote atomic version, but he's not called that. And he doesn't have a beam. Granted, from the knowledge I found before making this video, he doesn't fire the beam off until his plates are off. But I'm not sure. Godzilla fans, correct me if I'm wrong. But that's one of the reasons why they didn't include it. Now, another reason is there was an interview around San Diego Comic-Con time where one of the, I wouldn't say, one of the people in charge of the SH MonsterArts department mentioned that if they do not exclusively say heat ray version or beam version or any atomic breath version within the actual title of the figure and the box, then there will not be an atomic breath. And I kind of looked at it and I was like, okay, that makes sense. But if we actually put that logic into account, we could talk about within the same year with 2024's Godzilla X Kong Godzilla, the normal version, not the evolved version. That guy doesn't have heat ray version in the title, and he comes with one. So yeah, that might be something different when it comes to Legendary Pictures. Who knows? I could not really care. But at the same time, just throw in the heat ray in this one, or the atomic breath, whatever you want to call it. It's like it costs you like 5 cents to make them, perhaps. Who knows? I don't know how much it cost them, but it's definitely a bummer that he doesn't have it. And I'm definitely rambling a lot, especially for a video on just an SH MonsterArts, so I really apologize for that. But overall, I'm going to give this figure an 8 out of 10. Now, why am I giving it an 8? Mostly because it's a really cool looking figure, especially with the dorsal plates. And even with mine having a lot of issues just kind of popping out within the joints and everything of the sorts, I still think it's a great figure. It has some really good articulation, especially with him looking down. The tail moves really nicely. The legs can spread apart very easily. And he can kick forward, he can kick backwards. He has a lot of really good articulation. And it's insane for a Godzilla figure, especially because there's a lot of Godzilla figures that, even though they have a lot of cuts, Tamashi, and everything of the sorts, they might not have the most range. But this guy does. So I really like that. Now, the pricing, it's not so bad either. He was $90 for retail. And if you got him at San Diego, he was just a $90 flat rate. Nothing really too much of an issue. I don't know if they charge taxes. That's completely different. But at the same time, he was in Premium Bandai for $90. Tax was like 10%, 11%, so it was another $9. Shipping was another $10. So it was like $110 for just this figure alone. So if you got him through Premium Bandai and you're just recently getting him or waiting for him, awesome. This is a good figure nonetheless. I do think that his price is a little bit steep. He probably should have been $80. Especially he doesn't come with any accessories, no hands, no nothing. So there's that. But that's pretty much it for this video. That's all I have for you guys today. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this figure. Do you like it? Do you not like it? If you were able to get it through Tamashii Nation's Lightning Week, which I should be uploading this at the very end of it, I think within 3 hours it should be over. Let me know. But besides that, I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.